A big thank you to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. As we were tackling demo, structural changes, window restoration, and door design over the last 2 months, we were also working behind the scenes on the largest part of our kitchen renovation, the cabinetry. But what started as my dream cabinetry design for the space might be impossible to build. Hello guys, welcome back to our kitchen renovation. I'm really excited about this week and the coming weeks because we are finally talking about cabinetry. So we're having our very first meeting about cabinetry, and I've obviously been thinking about it a lot. What do I want? What do I want it to look like? How many drawers? What do I want inside? I've been doing a lot of research and planning on my own, but that's only going to get us about 75% of the way. Then we need someone to look at it and actually give us real measurements. This is how big that cabinet is going to be. And that was a lot of the work that I did at the cottage after we had already demoed and did the drywall and structural. I did all of that as I was building the cabinet. So those are very specific measurements when you're doing custom cabinetry. So I really feel like the more you can show and explain what you're looking for and what you want, the faster your project's going to move. And also they're just gonna know what to give you. Contractors are gonna know what to build. There's not gonna be any confusion, and you would have had thought about it before someone's standing in your face asking you, what do you wanna do with this? What do you wanna do with that? I'm gonna have answers. So I actually do have all of my notes and everything in my binder for exactly how I want our cabinetry.
I bring you some samples. So you have 3 options, but I start to see what
I like options.
I let you to decide. Fresh from the oven.
Okay.
Very old.
Yeah, so this one's golden up.
Very old. Very old. It's never sealed.
Yeah.
So walnut, if you don't seal it, this is very old. This is from.
It'll start to yellow. Yeah, this looks so purple, fresh.
That's fresh from the oven.
Yeah.
They make it for us.
So when it comes to the cabinetry material, I knew going into this design that I wanted to do stained wood. I didn't want painted cabinetry. I had done that before, and I had always really had painted cabinetry, and I really wanted to do something more organic. And so I was toying around with 2 different materials for the wood to stain: oak or walnut. Oak is really popular right now. A lot of people are doing oak in their kitchens, and my contractor said I'm installing so many oak cabinetry, like, because it can get that like bleached wood, that light wood. I actually want to go darker with my wood option. I want the stain to be darker, like these inspiration photos. And walnut is definitely going to give us that tone and that darkness. But I wanted a select wood walnut, which means there's less color variation. Walnut can have a lot of undertones. So when they put it together, it could have like one piece that's more like green undertone and one piece that's more like red undertone and one that's more orange. If you go with more of a select wood, it is more expensive, but there's a more of a uniformed look to it. So these are 2 samples of walnut. This one is aged. It's never been sealed. He's had this sample for like over 10 years. So you can see what walnut will actually do over time, and it can gold up like this. This walnut is fresh baked. So this is like fresh cut, fresh put together. You can see, if you can tell, it has like a lavender hue to it. I can see that in the undertones. So we're gonna explore some stain options for the walnut cabinetry because I do want it dark. So this back wall played out pretty well. I think the biggest thing for me is I like balance and symmetry. So I want that oven dead center, and then I want these 2 cabinets to be the same, you know, and then this is the refrigerator. So this is the pantry, and then I wanted these like glass shelves. And then last night I kind of had a panic attack because each of these doors would be 21 inches by 5 foot tall, big glass door.
Problem?
No, not really.
I did it because it matched. My only other idea that I thought is that we could cut it to where like this part's 4 foot or so, and then these are bigger.
Because it's narrow, 21, so it's not tweaking.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. That's what I was worried about. Is it going to tweak?
But the mindset, you need to put the bar in the middle.
I see.
So we need to figure out what.
So it's not one sheet of glass, it's 2.
Yeah.
but it
so,
opens as one door.
We need to ask them.
I have this, by the way, so.
I already looked and I already picked one.
You're great. You're amazing. Ahead of everybody.
I try to be prepared.
Good job.
He also brought me the cabinet door books to pick like the profiles. After browsing the profiles that were available, I really wanted it inspired by the vintage and antique furniture that I love that's in the French provincial style. I have a few pieces of furniture myself, so I took some pictures and looked at their door profiles and found the closest ones that I felt matched. So I picked out a few that I liked and gave them to my contractor so that we can cost them out to see what's in budget and pick the final profile for the cabinet doors. But these are the doors that I loved. I just don't know that these are standard cope and stick, and then this one was an added molding. So whichever, it gives me the same feeling. This was the fluted glass that I love for those cabinets. I want to come back and do something like that underneath some of the uppers.
Floorboards.
I love that look. There's only a couple of inside things I want to do. And when it comes to like organization inside the drawers, there are a few things that I want built in. I definitely want a built-in rollout for trash cans, a double one. I love that we have that in the cottage, one for recycling and one for regular trash.
Do you want wood?
No, not necessarily. Does not have to be wood at all. I have
wood is nice for the first year, and then it's
our other we have like just it's like wire, it's like metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like yeah. So it does not have to be like this at all. I love the idea of having a pull out for underneath the sink as well. And the pantry has to be optimized to its fullest because after living many apartments and houses with no pantry, it's like I don't want to makeshift. I don't want to try and make it work. I want it to be like super optimized with pullouts for the appliances and pullouts for like everything. The drawers, everything super optimized. I also may DIY this myself, but I want to have like a spice drawer that lays down. We did spice pullouts on each side of the oven in the cottage, and they were really expensive. Only really the top portion is usable. You kind of have to bend down and like look for what you're looking for. But I want something like this where it lays down, where the labels are on the front of the spice jars and it's right next to the oven. I love that. And then over on the pretty pantry side with the glass cabinets, I want a pull-out cabinet where I can store the pans and my muffin pans, my baking pans, and my cutting boards upright. I think that that's a really cool thing. But that really inside, that's it. That I don't want more things. And there were some must-haves and some problem areas in our previous kitchen that I really wanted to remedy and have if we were gonna do all of this. And that was increase the storage, give us a pantry, and also increase the countertop space. The designs that I've had thus far, we were definitely able to add lots of storage. So when it came to countertop space, along the perimeter of the kitchen, I was able to add more, but not a ton more. So I've actually sketched an alternative for the front wall. And this will allow for 6 foot of additional countertop space. And I think we really like it. Although it doesn't give me this like entire wall of cabinetry that I like really wanted the look of from a design perspective, what it does give me still is balance. The pantry side of the wall on the right, and then on the other side of the entryway, having the top cabinets sit on the countertop for the coffee bar and things like that. It does give me balance on each side of the door, but it also raises the left side of the cabinets up to give us that countertop space. Do I think we're gonna use all of this countertop space all the time? No. I think it's further away from the oven and the refrigerator. It's further away from the sink. I think what this is going to become is a place that I can decorate, a place that during the holiday times and like when we're having people over, we can like display the food there so it's not sitting on the actual table in the middle of the room, and stuff for like the baby. Because there's not a lot of room from the center to that window, that cabinet got smaller. So if that cabinet has to match this cabinet, which I want, all this got pushed this way.
Oh, okay. got it.
Yeah, so it just kind of came in the room a little bit more.
But it's a challenge. I mean, it's a design thing.
Yeah.
I never saw a kitchen that go all the way up inside.
With a Santa.
With the vaulted, yeah.
You know, I was trying to be different over here. More complicated, but different.
You are.
With crown molding.
With crumbling.
Yeah.
Let's add another weird thing.
Yeah. If no crown molding, that's okay. We can go up.
Yeah. So we've had a few meetings now about cabinetry design and what's possible from my original sketches and my original design ideas. As we started to figure out and see what the space was really going to be shaped like, we were not only vaulting the ceiling, but also pretty much joining 3 different rooms together into one room. So it was like the old kitchen and a little small patio off to the side, and then the big porch that used to be back here. Now they had closed the space up to make it one room, but all the ceilings were different, the slopes were different, everything was very quirky. It was very unusual. So as the room started to take shape, we had to continue to modify the cabinetry design and figure out how we were going to make it work. So a big thank you to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video, because if you guys remember from episode 1, I shared my 3D renders that I got from a freelancer on Fiverr with you guys. And this really kicked off the design process and really allowed me to see what I really wanted for the design of this space. Fiverr connects you with freelancers that offer a wide variety of digital services. Everything from architectural and interior design, landscape design I've done before, to website development, video editing, graphic design, and everything in between. And I love working with freelancers on Fiverr because I have personally tried to learn computer-aided design, CAD design, but I do not have the skill or the time to dedicate to doing the renders. So Fiverr has become an amazing resource for me so that I can get started with projects and really get to visualize them through these 3D renders before diving into a big project and starting a makeover. I can really see it come to life. So for this process for the kitchen, I started with my general ideas and just like sketching them out, figuring out what the measurements were for the space, all the info to tell a freelancer on Fiverr what they were going to be doing or what the goal was with the project. And then I went to Fiverr and searched for 3D interior design. And it brought up a ton of freelancers that do 3D renders. And I started by going through reading reviews about each of them, looking at their portfolios, what work they've done in the past. Now I had an idea of what I wanted, so I was ready to dive right in. But now Fiverr offers one-on-one consultations with their freelancers, which is great if you're just seeking advice, you don't know where to start, or you just enjoy more of a face-to-face one-on-one meeting. I can't tell you how valuable it was to actually have these renders and actually show them to the contractor as like a tangible thing. It's like, I want to build this. And it was so clear and concise, and we were able to do this process so much quicker. You guys can head to fiverr.co/exomckenna to check out the services available to you, and you can get 10% off with code McKenna. So definitely check it out. I'll leave the link in the description box. So you guys are standing at the oven. You are in the middle, quote unquote, middle of the room. There's only one wall that's in the middle. So because this room used to be 3 spaces, it's got a lot of movement. It's got a lot of different slopes to it. But you are dead center on the back wall where the oven is. That's the first wall you're gonna walk into. Here's the opening, right? So I'm gonna walk from the living room and you're in the middle of that wall. So that was my first point of reference. But when we were vaulting the ceiling and figuring out all the slopes of the roof, you can see, if you look real close, this is the center of the beams, and that section that vaults down there, and this section over here that vaults down to where the doors are, is different. This slopes a lot more than this side, because that side used to be a patio. It also is a little lower. It's a little lower. It's not the full 8 feet. I think it's like a few inches lower. And the whole room kicks out there. Now, it works in our favor because since the room kicks out, it makes the room a lot larger. And when it comes to the cabinetry, it made it tricky. So basically, I ran into an ultimatum. I could either have crown molding at the top of the cabinetry, which was like kind of a must-have for me. I really wanted the tops to feel less modern, and the way that I do that in the style that I love is trim. Or I could make these kind of faux pieces at the top so that the cabinets touch the ceiling. Now, I've always felt like that felt more designer. When cabinets had a space above them, I always tended not to like them as much. So I wanted both. I wanted crown molding and I wanted them to touch the ceiling. But the angles and the joints and the this and the that, it was pretty impossible. You know, of course I wanted to do something in this kitchen that was pretty impossible. If you go back to the renders, it doesn't have crown molding. And to me, that looked kind of more modern, like more mid-century. I felt like it lacked something up there. And so when I really, really thought about it, I value crown molding and having that detail and that trim work over the cabinets touching the ceiling everywhere. So now we've taken it a step further and just trying to figure out how to make the most of the space, how to make the most of all of the cabinetry, having crown molding and working with all these angles. So we're at the mill shop to see the progress on the cabinetry. I'm so excited. They've been moving so quickly on it. I feel like all the boxes are being made here and then we'll order the doors separately. So I've got all my stuff too to kind of go over like the foot design that I like and stain options and things.
Hello.
Hi. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Oh, so you set it up like a kitchen,
Yeah.
didn't you? You did, you totally did.
Yeah. So this is the right unit.
Yep.
That's
Pantry.
the opening. We're missing the top, and we have the template that we want to.
You made a template for the ball.
Yes. So we didn't build it yet. We need to go and confirm.
Okay.
So we go.
So that makes sense.
Yes. Go to the house, confirm, see what's going on, and then until your approval, we start to run. You know, the drawers,
Right.
the slides, the whole thing. And then you have the door. The
Yeah.
opening.
So this is gonna go to the living room.
That's the. Oh,
My
nice.
pretty one.
Yeah. It's not connected.
It's like my pretty pride and joy.
It's not connected yet. Oh, this is the unit above. That's all glass. Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
I have already everything here.
I love how big these drawers are. I know when we were designing it, he was like, "These are big drawers." I'm like, "No,
Yes.
I really like that they're big drawers." Because
Yes.
we can do so much organizing inside. You know. Oh, cool.
That's what Lazy Susan.
So we can really utilize the whole thing.
Oh, that's gonna be
So amazing. Because I didn't want to lose that dead space
No,
in
it's
there.
gonna be here.
This trash.
That's a trash
This
can.
is
That's for the trash.
nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it's just like the one we did at the cottage. You actually pull out the trash can, and then we have like a double trash can, so we can use one for regular and then recycling.
Right here. So it's tight.
Awesome. Trash bags and stuff there.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's a one panel.
Nice.
Right. If you want, you can do
Yeah.
door panel.
No, I
That's
think one
fine.
panel, it works perfectly. Panel
Correct.
works better, yeah.
Correct. That's the sink. You bring the sink?
Yes, it's in the car.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We'll build the sink around it. How you want it. We'll see the sink you have.
Okay.
Dishwasher.
Perfect. 24 inches.
A little bit more. 26 for the trim. We'll do trim. Trimmer for finish the doors. And then that's the left one, the end one.
The end one.
That's the upper and the switch here.
Cool. I want to watch him do this. Is he about to stick it? He is.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Oh.
I did it with an iron.
Yes. Push it, push it. Yes. Let it go.
Hold it.
Do it himself. Ironing, the glue, everything. We're not gonna drill million holes, look like a prefab.
Don't do that.
So I can do 3, or you wanna do more, you can do 1 if you know exactly where you want it.
Do 3,
Okay.
because then it can go up a little or down a little.
Correct, so it's 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
So do
1, 2, 3.
So it'll split the difference perfectly on
Correct.
the center one,
Correct.
and then
14,
do
14, or 15,
Yeah, because
15,
all
right?
I'm gonna wanna do is fill those holes if
Right.
there's like the prefab.
Yeah.
So the only one that's kind of specific, I guess, placement-wise, is just where the coffee.
Yes, that's totally open.
We just need to determine how tall above your espresso machine we want the shelf.
We're not gonna do glass, right?
Just glass on the actual doors, not the shelves.
Got it. And then this is the backing. We will prove it.
Okay.
So what I need from you is divide shelves if you want.
Shelves.
Yeah, it's very big and open.
It is.
And the doors.
Now seeing it, I can like.
The styles is 2 inches, I think, 2.5, 2.25.
I want plug in the back, plug strip in the back, and the light in the front.
Correct. The plug's underneath, the all electrical underneath, and the light is exactly underneath here, so it's giving you 45. So if you have, you're right. So, well, you know. She knows.
I love
And then
it.
huge drawers. 1, 2, 3.
Huge drawers.
Yeah.
Love the huge
It's
drawers.
so much bigger. It's
You
crazy
feel
seeing
the
it in
scale,
person.
right?
Yeah.
I have all
gonna
the
be fun.
slides. Let me bring you the slides.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this has a little bit more pink, and you're never going to see that once it's inside.
Behind the glass.
Yeah. So this is going to be the backing for
Yes.
those,
Yeah.
just the walnut cabinetry.
Yeah, and this is paper, and this is wood. It's react different to the same color.
Yeah, but this is going to appear the same color inside.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we can order
That's
it.
awesome.
See, I don't have the backing. I'm waiting for your confirmation.
Yeah.
So approved.
You want a door on top, like this, or you want 2, 3 doors? Now when you see it,
I'm almost inclined to just say 2 doors, but they would be big. I mean, how big does this one go?
so it's going to
Would be
be
almost a-
45.
So almost a 4-foot door. Now we're getting to see the cabinets in person and make those final tweaks, those little changes that we want as we can really visualize it now. So one thing is, this is gonna be the coffee bar, right? So it's gonna be so much easier to clean by the coffee machine if this cabinet actually just sits on the granite. So, or the quartzite or whatever stone we pick. So when you open the doors, it's gonna just be the solid like granite here, not have a bottom. And these cabinets here are uppers, so they're gonna sit 18 inches above. Because now I was so scared of the scale, I was like, I don't know if they're too big for like full scale doors, like will a 4-foot door be too big? But now actually seeing it, me and the designer are like, we think it would actually be really cool to have just a single door here. Instead of having it split up. It will make the kitchen continue to feel tall. Because if we start to chop the cabinets up, it creates more breaks and it makes the overall feeling feel shorter. These on each side of the oven are so tall, so we're kind of mimicking the same height on each end of the kitchen. And then all of these will be singles as well. On the bottom of each of the cabinet sections, I actually want them to feel and look more like furniture, like pieces of furniture. This is a similar thing that I did in the cottage too. I wanted like little feet at the toe kick on the bottom of each of the cabinets when they were sectioned together. And at the cottage, I did a really simple kind of just like scoop design, and I made them out of like 3/4 inch wood, and I put 2 together. So they were quite thick. They were about an 1.5 inches. So I think that's the good thickness for these as well, but I want to do a different design. So I have a 1/4 inch piece of plywood here, and I want to make a template. So it's going to be my design, but they'll use this template and they'll make all the feet out of the walnut for the cabinetry. Everything about this kitchen I want elongated. Like I wanted to kind of like go on a little more. Just looking at like, you know, some numbers, I'm thinking I either want the foot to be like 6 inches, 6 or 7 maybe. I'm gonna draw it out at 6 inches and kind of see what that feels like. Okay, I kind of like that. I like that this one is more dramatic here, and then it kind of like shallows off so that it's got a squiggle, it's got some movement, but it's one's more dramatic and they're not so even. So here is the 6 and here is the 8. Wanted to see what these would look like.
Let's put it in. We have the top.
I made 2 different sizes because I felt like they were so big that they could afford like a bigger. Did we do a 4-inch toe kick or a 3.5? I wasn't sure.
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
So this we can just modify this a little bit. Okay, so that's the 6-inch, and that's the 8. This one. Getting to see the cabinetry in person really gave us the feeling of like the scale, the size of the cabinetry, just an overall feeling of what the kitchen's gonna feel like. I love that they had it set up, like a kitchen, so that we could really walk through and really see and make any final changes before they continue. So it was really great to see it in person. And we made some really great changes, I think, just a few, not many, just a few. Once they get everything built, like all the carcasses, the actual boxes themselves, they're gonna bring them all in and they're gonna order the cabinet doors in walnut in the profile that I wanted. And then that'll be a little bit and then we'll put those on later, but I'm really excited. They're building all the drawer inserts. It's looking so good. And then especially with the addition of our little feet. We're gonna move on to the hood design. They're gonna bring everything in. Oh, it just, this whole process has been giving me life. So I've been having so much fun. So if you guys are gonna be doing any renovations or any projects of any kind, definitely check out Fiverr. Head to fiverr.co/exomckenna. Check out the services that are available to you. You can 3D render any room in your house and you can get 10% off your order with code McKenna. So definitely check it out. It helped me in this process immensely. So I highly recommend. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you've missed any of the episodes along the way, we're now on episode 5. So if you've missed 1 through 4, I will leave the whole series linked for you so you can check it out and get caught up because we have more exciting episodes and more things to come. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification so you know exactly when I upload every other Sunday. Bye guys. Coming up next on our kitchen renovation. The bottom of the cabinet to run into the corbel.
So how much the hood do they make?
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't it 20?
And I was like, that's how you should feel when you see your stone. Like,
It takes out the purple.
Bleach it a little bit and then fill the application. I mean the sealer, but not oil. Let's put oil. Let's still make some samples.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.